it completely changed my life. I had a horrendous experience, but I asked for very specific things. I asked to be freed of my chains of greed. I asked to, I want to know how I could be a better man, a better husband, a better father, and a better son. And I want to know how I could help humanity. And nothing's been the same since. The experience was weird because everyone got the effects first. And I just sat there in the forest in Cusco. I was like, what the fuck, man? Everyone was done with their experience. I'm still sitting there with nothing. And I had an E.T. Steve, a friend of mine, there with my wife. And we're smoking cigarettes. I'm like, what the fuck, man? I've been reading about this for 5 years. And nothing. And all of a sudden I start getting a headache. Really bad headache. And I tell him to leave me alone. And I'm being held down by these snakes, right? Swallowed by a big giant snake right away. All these tiny snakes are holding me down, and I die. Death. One of my greatest fears of dying, right? And this skull is just looking at me, death right there. And then the snakes are still holding me down, but my head's to the left, and I can't move. And I look up, there's this giant, not giant, but really tall shaman in purple, big feathers and stuff, like head, Inca wear or something like on his head. And it's placing this round thing with petroglyphs on it into my head. And I look up and I go, what are you doing? And it says to me, well, you asked for this information, here it is, we're giving it to you. Wow. So, I get up and I go up to this E.T. Steve, like, holy shit, the experience I had, and I walk back and I puke and I start crying. And I get the answer in my head that all you have to do is just laugh more. You'll be a better person. Smile more. Great. So I make my way out of the forest, and the shaman's in there eating, as usual. And he looks at me and goes, how is death? I go, you know that? He goes, yeah. I go, fuck you. You know, so I get some water. And I go into the thermal baths with my son, right? Just go for a swim. Everything's great, normal. And the thermal baths, I learned later, recharged the whole experience, but multiplied it 100 times. So I go to the bathroom, the whole world is spinning around me. And all the noises of all these people with their radios and singing is like 100 times multiplied. So I'm like running desperately, I don't know what to do, and then I see by the river, at the edge of the mountain, the shaman has these chairs all lined up for us to sit there. He's sitting there, so I go there and I sit next to him, and all hell breaks loose. The energy of the wind starts going through me. The river, I feel the energy of life starts going right through me. And all these beings are just coming out around me, like snakes just pierce me all over the place. And so I'm desperate now. I turn to the shaman, and he looks at me. I blink, he's running away from me. Fuck, thank you very much, dude. So then noise becomes unbearable. I can't deal with it. So we had rented a bus, all of us. So I go into the bus to hide from everyone. And everyone takes it as a sign to leave. So everyone rushes into the bus. They turn the radio on, and off we go up the mountain. And I spent the next 3 hours with my son in my arms, trying not to puke on him. Going through the most intense experience of beings around me in the bus, flipping in through me, out of me. And somewhere about 2.5 hours later, I start coming down, and I had my eyes closed and I opened up, and I swear to God, it was like the first time I'd seen the earth ever. Like I'd never seen it before. The grass was beautiful, everything. It was as someone had erased my hard drive and just put a new chip in, and I was like a new person.